Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 266 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. For those of you that are unfortunately not with us watching on YouTube, but are listening via podcast, whatever platform you listen to your podcast on, and whether you're watching and or listening, remember to like, subscribe, give somebody you love a tip of your penis or a tip of your vulva. And just remember to like, subscribe, and share an episode of Verbal Graffiti. We got to get the subscribers, the views, the watches up, because they're trending downward. I am now on YouTube getting fewer than 10 views per episode, the last 5 or 6 episodes. So we'd like to get to double digits, at least 10 views for my ego and for this project, Verbal Graffiti. But what I was getting at, and what I'm getting at now, is that for those of you that are listening and can't see what I'm wearing, I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt, buttoned down. It's seasonal. It's late August. I'm wearing it purposely because this might be the last time I get to wear a Hawaiian-themed shirt or clothing at all until next June. Because right now, as of this recording, it is late August, or we are entering late August, that is. Back to school season, if you're of that age and in the Northeast. That's when schools start in the Northeast, is late August, if you're a public school person. And let's be honest, if you're watching and or listening to Verbal Graffiti, you're probably attending public school or attended public school, if you have any schooling at all. We are not a private education audience here at Verbal Graffiti. But it makes me a bit sad. Makes me a bit, slouch my shoulders knowing I am a skinny guy. I'm frail, noodly arms, chicken legs. And when you have that stature as a man, you can't wear Hawaiian shirts past Labor Day. Now, I don't adhere to the rules of fashion. I'll wear white pants after Labor Day. I don't know if I actually have white pants, but if I did, I would wear them past Labor Day. Maybe I'll get on that. Maybe I'll do that this fall. But it's a rule I make for myself because I don't like to, how shall I phrase this? I don't enjoy pretending to be something it's not or something I'm not. And when it's the weather is cold, frigid, I'm not going to wear a Hawaiian shirt and pretend it's not snowing or frost or just below freezing outside. So you will not see me wearing a tropical shirt when it is not tropical season. Again, the only guys that I know of that are allowed to wear tropical shirts when it's not the summertime are fat boys. Fat boys that are over the 300 pounds, 3 bills. And when I say fat boys, it could be any age. Whether you could be 8 years old, you could be 38 years old, you could be 58. For whatever reason, fat guys that are over 3 bills are excluded from tropical Hawaiian shirt etiquette. They are allowed to wear tropical Hawaiian shirts year-round and not be criticized for it. The same with shorts. If you're a fatty, a gentleman, a John, just a regular guy, but you're over 3 bills, you are allowed to wear Hawaiian shirts and shorts year-round. And nobody can question you for the clothing that you're wearing. I don't know why those are the rules, but them are the rules. And honestly, when I was told, I didn't even have to be told about that rule. It's common sense. When I see a fatty wearing shorts in the wintertime, and we all had that guy in school. Right? We all had the guy in high school who he was either a weirdo, almost the guy who had school shooter energy to him, and hopefully he didn't light up your school. But we know that guy. He has school shooter energy to him. There's something there's something about that guy where he wears shorts year round. There's something about wearing shorts every day of the year and school shooter energy that are adjacent to each other. There's kumbaya between the wearing shorts year round and school shooter energy. Don't know what that is, but again, it's common sense. It's the same way, but yeah, so you were in high school. There were two types of guys that wore shorts year round. The guy with school shooter energy, who tends to be a skinny guy. Don't know why that's the case. You know, there's all this talk about school shooters. Is it white? Is it a white guy? Is he someone LGBT? Is it a trans person? Is it a Mexican? You know, whenever there's a school shooting, for some reason, if you're in the world of politics, you like to pin it on your opponents. Like, oh, your group are the school shooters, not our group. But for whatever reason, regardless of gender, religion, politics, whatever your stance is before you light up a school, the school shooters, at least the ones that get publicized that I see, and there are a lot in America, so correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed a few over the years, most of the school shooters tend to be skinny. Certainly they're not fat. What correlation does that? What can you make of that? I don't know. All I know is there are two types of people in high school who wear shorts year round. It's the school shooter energy guy, and it's the fatty. The guy who wears shorts and sneakers, or I guess nowadays it's probably shorts and Crocs year round. All right, we all know that. We all know who that person is. You might not remember his name if you're years past high school, but you know the guys I'm talking about. Same thing when you're adults. If you're over $3, 300 pounds as a John, you're a fatty, you're overweight, morbidly obese, you could wear your Hawaiian shirt year round. It's one of the benefits of being a fatty. All right? Yeah, you might die of cardiac arrest or just a blood clot. Yeah, your life might be shut down 3 decades prior to when it should because of your lack of health or your health issues, that is. But hey, at least you get to wear a Hawaiian shirt every day of the year and not be questioned for doing so. So, you got to take the good, you got to take the bad. The good with the bad, the good or the bad. B-man, learn how to talk, learn how to talk. Oh, there's also the guy. I promise, we will get off of fashion very quickly. You could also make yourself a Hawaiian shirt guy or gal if you're willing to make that your identity. And do know that if you wear a Hawaiian shirt every day, that is your identity. That's what people identify you as. So that's the guy, that's the gal who wears Hawaiian shirts every day. I almost became that guy. There was a day a few years ago, I went to Kohl's, as you do, right? As a W-2 employee, non-wealth guy, gal, you shop at Kohl's. I was at Kohl's, saw a Hawaiian shirt. I had a gift certificate. I had some free Kohl's dollars, which we know that's a Ponzi scheme. I don't know. You go into Kohl's with 50 Kohl's dollars, you leave with clothing, fake jewelry, maybe a candle, and 70 Kohl's dollars. I don't know how Kohl's stays in business, but it's got to be a Ponzi scheme because nobody spends real money inside of Kohl's. It is an enigma, much like the Indian smoke shops where I never see anybody in them around my town. How are they staying afloat? How are those economics working? I don't know. Same thing with Kohl's. Anyways, the B-man, I was in Kohl's. I had some free cash, Kohl's dollars, and I bought 3 Hawaiian shirts, and I almost jumped, into that deep end of just wearing Hawaiian shirts every day. Thankfully, I didn't have the confidence to wear those Hawaiian shirts, and I threw them out a couple months after buying them. I didn't give them the Goodwill or Salvation Army because I think I'm better than the people who shop at Goodwill and Salvation Army, and they should not be able to wear the clothing that I bought for myself. I'm better. Actually, what it is, well, if I'm not going to wear them, why would I give them to someone at Goodwill? Because I have a good sense of style. So if it's not good enough for my style, I'm not going to pawn it off at someone at Goodwill or Salvation Army. But it is a long-winded way of saying, let's see, almost 10 minutes, that this might be the last time you see me wearing a tropical shirt until June of 2027. And you bet your ass Verbal Graffiti's still going to be here because we're like a cockroach. You can't get rid of us. You might not acknowledge us. You might even not know we're on the internet. But we're here, and we're always going to be here. So you better turn the light on and see what we're doing here. Also, moving forward, as you know, I am, or maybe you don't know, because I just started this. I'm starting a collection of trading cards, sports cards, of great Americans, great people in history who have made this nation a better place to live for all of us. And it just so happens that David Duke is a huge fan of Verbal Graffiti. If you don't know, he ran for president in 1988 and I believe 1992. He's formerly associated with the neo-Nazis, and maybe he was part of the KKK, Ku Klux Klan. Now listen, I don't love the neo-Nazis. I don't get along with the KKK. They say, as an artist, they tell you, you don't choose your fan base. You put your art out there, and then your audience finds you. Well, somehow, some way, I don't know, David Duke found out about Verbal Graffiti, and he personally sent me this trading card from his campaign in 1992, which he unfortunately lost. So this card will go into my PC, my personal collection, and to David Duke, thank you sincerely for being a fan and a supporter of Verbal Graffiti since day one. And your trading card, now part of my PC. Putting that back. And again, if you're listening via podcast, go watch YouTube, episode 266 of Verbal Graffiti, so you can see that card of David Duke. Moving forward, I have a story to tell. It's been on my mind. We haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm just going to take a little drink of water, clear the throat. No, the B-Man was not sucking cock earlier. I've never sucked a cock. Not that I am opposed to any guys out there, Johns, who do suck the cock. It's just that the B-Man, I am not a sucker of cocks. I love suckers of cocks. I would love them to suck my cock. There's not nearly enough of that happening of late the past few years. So I would like more cocksuckers in my life. But I want everybody on the internet to know that I was not sucking cocks, and that's not why I needed to take a sip of water right there. Filtered, by the way. Don't drink tap water. That's mid-America. That's middle America. You don't want to be associated with them, right? We're coastal elites here. Me and David Duke, Bill Cosby. But I have a story to tell. This is a personal one. I'm going to tell it in the first person. It does not necessarily mean it is me that was the person in this story. I'm going to say it in the first person because it's an easier story to tell. Flows. There's more rhythm to it when I make it a personal story. But this is a story, I found myself in this position, this predicament, this Rubik's Cube. And I'm sure many of you Johns and Goonettes out there watching and listening to us in this project, you've probably found yourself in this scenario yourself plenty of time. So let's get to the story, shall we? Let's get to the story. It's Monday morning. You're at the bus stop. You don't. You're on the bus stop. It's late March. It's early April. It's a seasonally warm day. It's still a bit frigid. All right, there's still some morning dew on the grass that's behind the bus stop. Because it was last night. It wasn't below freezing, but it was high 30s, and now it's already 8 a.m. You're sorry, 7:30. You're waiting for the bus. Of course, it's late. It's always late. Your work starts at 8 o'clock, so you're already in your head. You're gonna blame the bus for being late to work, but you've blamed the bus like at least once or twice a month, and your supervisor is sick of you blaming the bus, and he or she, your supervisor, and let's be honest. Your supervisor, if you're corporate America today, is probably a gay guy or a lady. That's what middle management consists of here in America in 2026. I'd say at least over 50%. Either you're gay or you're a female. So your boss, let's say she's a female. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just pointing out facts. What is it? Facts don't care about your feelings. Well, the B man, I care about your feelings. And I care about your sniz and your genitals and whether or not your cock is being sucked or not. But neither here or there. You're already you're in a foul mood because you're going to be late for work because you have to rely on public transit. And anybody who has to rely on public transit often is late to work. But what they also don't tell you is you're also late getting home. Because you have to wait in the morning and then you also have to wait after work to get the bus home. So when your manager, who's gay or female, or maybe both, all right, bitches to you about being to work late because of your public transit and taking the bus, how come we're never allowed to combat that by saying, well, yeah, but I'll be late getting home too. So it all evens out. Your boss does not care about that rebuttal, but that's not what this story is about. You're at the bus stop. You got your backpack and you're brown bagging it. Most of your coworkers, they get the slop at lunch, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, some salad, whatever. They go to Chili's. They waste $18 on their lunch 5 days a week, and they wonder why they'll never be able to afford a home or a luxury vehicle or an RV. Again, that's not part of the story, but you're trying to be responsible. You brown bag your lunch. You prep the previous evening, Sunday, instead of watching 60 Minutes, instead of watching Sunday Night Football or a movie or fucking your mistress, if you're so lucky to have one. You pre-made meals and put it in Tupperware because that's the type of American you are. Boring and sterile. So you're there at the bus stop. Again, it's already early 50s, which is a high temperature for late March, early April. You can tell, this is going to be, it might hit early, the low 70s today, temperature-wise. So everyone's in a chipper mood. But again, you're going to be to work late, and it's impossible to be in a chipper mood when you're waiting at the bus stop at 7:30 in the morning, regardless of the warm weather that's unseasonably warm. All right, but so there's dew on the grass. You got the bus stop, it's kind of enclosed, but it's also open. There's a lot of graffiti and posters of concerts and events and surveys. And people looking for members for a study. If you smoke daily or you're an alcoholic or your mom smoked when she was pregnant with you, call this number, take the little tab, call it. We'll pay you $1,500 to take this non-FDA approved drug 6 months. You may die, but we'll pay you $1,500. So you pick it, you put it in your backpack. Maybe you'll call, maybe you won't, depending on how much your boss pisses you off today. And you're surrounded the bus stop. There might be 4 other people who are actually going to work, and then everyone else at the bus stop or congregating around the bus stop. They're just kind of living there, right? I don't know. You don't know if they're homeless. You don't know if they're ODing. They haven't shaved. They haven't bathed. They've asked you for money every day. You're holding onto your wallet in your front pocket because you're afraid of what these people at the bus stop might do to you. You're praying that there's no bodily fluids that are flowing your way and make contact with your skin, because up to today, you don't have HIV, you don't have syphilis, you don't have any airborne disease from a homeless person, and you don't want this to be the day. Again, it's going to be in the mid 70s today. Once you get on the bus and to your office and the day begins, you'll be in a better mood. But right now, you're in a protective mood. Right, your eyes are out. You're observing your environment. There's a guy, a black gentleman. Well, let's be honest. He's a black gentleman, mid 40s. Hey, he's got some type of Bluetooth and he's blasting rap music 7:30 in the morning. He has no care in the world for everyone else around him. Right? Everyone's barely awake, drinking coffee, and this guy's blasting music like we're about to hit the nightclub. Again, a little social awareness from that guy. No, you're not going to get it. But you're waiting for the bus, and the bus comes. You have a monthly pass because you're unsuccessful. Hold on. I need to let my dog out.